welcome to the Town Center Economic Development Commission for September 17th, 24. Let the record reflect that the meeting was on. Can we get a roll call?
Commissioner Michelle,
Present.
Commissioner Carrasquillo,
Present.
Commissioner Gooley, Commissioner Hudgen, Commissioner Riley. Present.
Let the record reflect that we have a quorum present for the meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes for the meeting of August 20th, 2024? Moved. It's been moved. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor? Any comments and discussions, comments, changes to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. The motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 4, public comments. Anyone present for public comments, please?
Hi, everyone. Bonnie Berkowitz, 492 Park Avenue. I just wanted to let you know about what I thought was an amazing event that the Historical Society held last night, and if anyone was aware of it. It was their 75th anniversary, but part of the program was a video that had been done on the town center, the history of the town center. I think there were 100 people there. I was blown away. And I would just recommend, if anyone has a chance, it's on the Winterberry Historical Society website. It basically starts with the beginning of the settlement, with the church being developed there. And it goes right through, I think it was probably done in the 90s. And what was really interesting, what I hope you're able to do with the first public meeting, was the engagement of the public. Now, the demographic's different. The demographic for the Historical Society, I'm a child, okay? So it is a lot of people that are advanced in years, and I don't know whether that's time, interest, I don't know what the reason is. There were some youngsters, but the majority of us were well into our 60s and 70s, I would say, and beyond. But they had a panel. The panel talked a bit about things, and then they asked people in the audience. And the response, the feeling that people have about this town, the feeling that they have about the center and what it could be, is so encouraging that I think you're going to have a great response. And I just welcome you to take a look at what the Historical Society did, because I think it's a really engaging piece of information. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your comments are very timely, because this leads us to a Goldman York update on item 5. We talk about the survey. I hope everybody on the panel, on the committee, have done their survey. I know I've done mine. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. My whole family has.
Oh, that's wonderful. Good evening, Commission. Update on this survey. We currently have over 480 responses to the online version, as well as a few packets of hard copies handed in, which we think is phenomenal. The survey opened on the 9th, so last Monday. So in just a week, we have probably about 500 surveys completed. And we still have until October 15th to be accepting survey responses. I will also say that we had a table at your food truck festival in the town center, which was absolutely a beautiful event. We thought it was very well attended and organized, and it was really nice to be there. We had good engagement with a number of people passing by, and we had one of the activities that we'll be doing at the kickoff event, just to give them a feel for what we're doing and to start getting some responses from the community. But we asked them for 3 words that they feel describe your town center today, and 3 words that you would like to see to describe the town center in the future after this plan is enacted. A lot of people participating, a lot of people stopping to read, some people laughing and making comments about certain responses, but it was very well received, we felt. And we also took the opportunity to hand out survey QR codes and kind of force that down their throat, as well as invitations to the kickoff, which is next week. So I'll move on to that. Next Tuesday, we will be having the kickoff event at the community center from 6 to 8. We'll start it with just some quick opening comments from Commissioner Michelle and the mayor, if she's available. And then we'll hand it to Don for a presentation of this plan specifically in our typical planning process. And then he'll do a synopsis of our findings thus far. Pretty much everything that you've seen we'll summarize and present to your community. And then I guess right after that, we're gonna break out into, I should know this off the top of my head, six or seven engagement events with participation opportunities for everyone. So we'll do the event or the activity that I said we did at the Food Truck Festival, as well as Don's spoken to a couple of them, one with money bags, one where they rank things that they'd like to see in the town center, and then a couple more where we ask for words, either describing or things that they're proud of, and we make word clouds with those that we feel are really effective. That will be it for the kickoff. We'll also do just light refreshments. I did want to mention that we had one change to the focus group schedule, well, the engagement activities schedule. We had originally had day 2 of the focus groups on the schedule. I don't know if you have it in front of you or not, but it was originally on Thursday, October 3rd. And yeah, that's right. Day 3, actually, that's why I'm confused here. Day 3 was originally Thursday, October 3rd, and we just pushed it back 1 week to Thursday, October 10th, because the 3rd would fall on Rosh Hashanah. And then I will say that next month, we will address your previous request to see geofencing on Elizabeth's, and we will also summarize the community engagement activity responses for you, as well as maybe additional things, but as of right now, those will be what you can expect for next month.
Any questions from my fellow committee members? Any questions?
Yeah, what was some of the responses? I was able to make it, I was out of town. What some of the responses at the event?
In the food truck?
Yeah, food truck, yeah.
So we asked 3 words that you think describe the town center today. A lot of people it seems actually torn either between active or nothing's going on, or, but most people actually responded to the future one. A lot of people only responded to the future, which we asked both, but, and a lot of them were highlighting things that they would like to see in the town center. A lot of them really wanted to see more activities for kids or places to go, more things for seniors. A lot of people mentioning the movie theater, the bowling alley, or wanting a bowling alley, restaurants. Pretty much they want things to do, places to go. I will say the mall came up a handful of times, quite a few times. Nothing crazily surprising to you, I'm sure, but I'm sure with reviewing those and also the ones from the kickoff, we'll get some interesting ones.
But, I had the opportunity to stop by, right? And I was surprised the number of people who wanted a bowling alley.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that quite a
And
few.
then number of folks who wanted the movie theater to come back.
Yes, and a lot of people verbalize that.
I mean, a lot of folks wanted both of them back. That was surprising. I wasn't expecting it to be the volume to be that high.
It was a very popular place when it existed.
The bowling alley or the
Bowling alley,
movie?
it was always, both of them, when they, especially the movie theater when it first, it was in a different location and that was busy. And then it moved into the mall. When it reopened there, it was very busy. Bowling alley was back on, that kind of west end of what we're considering the town center. Basically, like where the mini mall is, where Ocean State was built, because they reconfigured that. And that was always busy. There were bowling leagues, I went to birthday parties there when I was a kid. So I'm not surprised
That
with
makes
folks who've been in town for a while, and there are none in this general area.
There were quite a few people who mentioned how long they were in town for as well. I think one person said 74 years. Yeah, there's a lot of
As you've seen from the demographics, being an older town, there's a lot of people that stuck here for all of that time.
that's wonderful, and that's a really good person to hear from.
But I guess that's a strength, right? Having folks who are passionate about the town, of the
Committed.
town, stayed vernacular. So that's a strength for us. A bit nostalgia, I would imagine. But it'd be interesting to see folks who are new to town, what's their perspective? Because they weren't here when we had bowling alleys and movie theaters, so would they have a different view on this?
I did hear from a few people that were either just visiting or new to town, and it was a lot of honestly, more, for the most part, the people that were newer or visiting had very positive things to say, and some of the more negative things to say came from the longer term residents, but they were commenting on how beautiful it is, how clean it is, and family friendly. I heard a few times, but I also heard the opposite, where they would like more, but.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I heard a lot and was surprised a lot about was the number of people that came over and walked over from Heirloom Flats and said they love coming over and walking the center. And it's funny because this center has a good number of restaurants, and they say they frequent them all the time, but they'd like to see more. So I thought that was good. We know that Elizabeth's does well, that Republic does well. It was nice to see that TJ Burritos was set up there, and I went over and I was talking with them, and they were like, we're so excited to be opening here. If you get a response like this, that we got to the event. So I think it was very, very positive. So.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I was just gonna say, it'd be nice if we can keep the food truck festival survey responses separate, just kind of considering people's disposition
Absolutely.
Saturday versus when we have the event on Tuesday, and just kind of see what the similarities are and, what some of the differences are.
We will definitely do that. To that point, I will say that a lot of the responses also had to do with events, probably because they were at an event. A lot of them said there's wonderful events or wonderful the concerts. A lot of people spoke so highly of the concerts, but I'm guessing that after our discussion, after Dawn's presentation and informing them on like the entire area, and I'm guessing in a different setting, we will get different responses. So we will definitely do that.
And the other thing I was thinking about is, we talk a lot about what Bloomfield residents want. And then in the previous meeting, we talked about who frequents Bloomfield, right? Who comes here, spends time, spends money here. Are we engaging those people, those families, to find out in a similar survey fashion, what would you like to see in the town of Bloomfield? Just like we're not a business, but when we think of attracting people to our town, keeping our businesses alive, once we get new businesses, if that's, the route we go, what do outsiders want? What's going to keep them coming here?
did not exclude them.
Okay.
From taking part in the activities. You know, we asked them if they were a Bloomfield resident, if they had done the survey. But we did not exclude anybody. We had a couple from New Britain, Bristol, Windsor, Windsor. So we made sure,
Awesome.
you wanna make that comment, make it, go ahead.
It's the same with the online survey. Answer it. We check whether or not you're a resident. But we'll be able to see what percent for outside.
Yeah, the survey went out to every residence and business. So considering businesses as stakeholders, of course, we're gonna want town employees to participate. But yeah, if there are people frequenting Bloomfield, it would be a good idea to hear what they say. I believe the current non-resident response rate is probably about 5 or 6%, whereas probably about 95% responding are residents.
One of the things I also want to mention about, because I was just looking at some of my pictures that I took from the day, the number of young kids in high school that stopped by the booth. And they were like, can we comment? Can we take the survey? And we were like, yeah, you are who are going to be living here in the future, hopefully. So we want to know what you want. So that was nice to see them taking part, and have a great one of two young girls picture that, you know, they were sitting there, they were very engaged, talking with us and everything, and making their comments. So it was nice to see.
Thank you. Any more questions from my colleagues? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So, item 6 on the agenda, commission questions, comments and feedback. Any overall comments, questions, concerns?
No, happy to hear that so far the engagement is going well. You got some good responses, and I know I have to do more pushing it out to my friends who are in local and neighboring towns, and making sure that I communicate to them to feel free to share it to people they know who are in the area. So I'll make another push on that with online friends.
You know, what's amazing is the number of folks that I engage with who enthusiastically want to get engaged with the survey. They really want to answer the questions, give feedback, one way or the other. So I'm looking forward to the results of the survey. Every now and then it might be helpful just to go over the calendar and the timing of so that we all know as a committee, you know, where we are along the project plan, if you will. I know that the original plan is for us to have something to the council by February or March. Are we still on target to do that?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. And you kind of caught me off guard. I don't have the schedule in front of me.
Okay.
But when Alyssa wrapped up, or one of her statements about the stuff that we'll have for you at the next meeting, and then looked at me and said probably some other stuff. I'm probably at the next meeting gonna delve into some of the nuts and bolts of the plan with you guys, and kind of where we need to focus some attention and so forth. We will also, as she said, we will have results from the public outreach at that point. At that point, and I think we said this early on at the very beginning of this, that possibly late October or November, we may have to squeak in an extra meeting or two. That I would say would be more work session-ish. So in that context, if we're doing kind of a work session, I'd ask if we could try and secure conference room 5, so we could all sit around the table rather than this. This works fine for what we're doing. I guess worst case scenario, if we had to pull a table in here. But anyways, the idea would be do some work sessions with you guys to kind of really go through the existing conditions, the public input, and with kind of our facilitation framing, where it is you guys want to go, giving us kind of the direction on how we approach strategy and so forth and so on. And then we will be delving into a ton of writing, which we'll keep you abreast of and up to date on, but kind of through December and January. And then the hope would be, and we'd present pieces to you over that time, but then the hope would be in February ultimately to have a draft before you guys for consideration, so.
Thank you. One final question from me. Have we surveyed the Winterberry Mall in terms of its condition, its physical condition?
One of the things we still have to do, and we're just, I keep on forgetting to coordinate with Derek. I had Daryl in my mind. I couldn't get Daryl out and I knew it wasn't him. To have Derek go out and actually, we will do a physical property survey of every property within the town center, within the boundaries, not just Winterberry.
Okay.
And that still has to be done. Something we do internally. The results will come back to you guys in some photographs, some short narrative, and ultimately a map that kind of shows property conditions by parcel. And then a table that kind of breaks down the findings of property conditions. So I'm not expecting overall awful property conditions. I think the condition of property in the center has improved in recent years. I'm kind of open to what we discover in that because I'm just not sure at this point in time, but I don't expect some real awful stuff, so.
Thank you much. Any other questions from my colleagues?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Pretty full right now. They have a lot of smaller tenants that they put in. There is like the old rainbow shops. Still vacant. There's some interior space because they have interior spaces in the hallways. I wouldn't go into, but they do have quite a few that are in there.
Oh, that's all right. So yeah, there is some decent occupancy. I just always caution, we'll have to do maybe a little research and see what we can figure out. But in this day and age, I always caution, I was recently working on a mall project and actually it was an outlet project. And if you go to the outlets, it looks very occupied. And in public presentations, I was representing developers, we were challenged internally as to kind of how to discuss this. And it's over the fact that so many retailers, retail companies, property management groups are doing whatever they can to fill space, but it's hard to count some of those spaces as occupied because it's pop-up space, it's month-to-month lease, it's not formal, what we've seen in the industry historically. So while there may be storefronts, how you actually count them as occupied versus whatever. So we'll try and delve into that a little bit, so.
Yeah, because that doesn't seem to square with what we saw with the length of time of visits that were happening over there, especially with, there's 2 dental offices. I can't get out of my dentist office in less than 45 minutes to an hour, yet we were
Yep.
seeing more of a turnover of quick visits
Yep.
in that survey data.
Yeah, well, we'll go through and look at all the uses and I'll revisit those times and see if anything kind of isn't jiving or whatever, so.
Could also be picking up, the liquor store in the back, which is a
Yep,
high volume, quick visit.
yep,
We did talk about a little bit of takeout, running out for
Yeah.
takeout. There is a bank.
yeah,
But there's also 2 barbers and 3 beauty salons,
yeah,
which are also tend to be somewhat longer than 10-minute visits. So
Yeah.
might be worth relooking at some of that
sure.
timing data. As I thought about it afterwards, I was like, okay. Even, the dentist that's open and taking patients at 7 in the morning, 1 day a week, there's tons of cars in the parking lot when I'm walking there with my dog.
Right.
So I know that they're getting volume of people in.
And we can we'll see, we can maybe parse the building up You know, we could do the building with making sure that we're not capturing the liquor store. And, you know, maybe if the salons are heavily weighted in one wing of the building, we can do one wing versus another wing and so forth. So there's other ways to break it up and look at it.
Yeah, don't know if it'll be really significant, but it did strike me that given the businesses that were there, the timing of the visit seemed,
Yep.
but it could also be when the survey was done, when the data was from and what might have been going on.
Yeah. And it also just could be, you know, you may have tons of turnover in a handful of businesses, but they're still not affecting the total that much. So,
Businesses that are there, you have an idea, you might know what businesses are there. How long they've been at that particular place. If in the future they're gonna plan to stay in Bloomfield, in the center, if not there, somewhere else. To get their feedback on how they've been treated there, their volume, traffic, and all that, sure, that's what we did. We wanna keep them here, even if he leaves, they stay.
Yeah.
So then we have, keep them.
yeah, at the end of the day, we have to address that in the plan. We have to, if, not saying that it's going to be, but if there were to be a move for acquisition of the property, or at least to facilitate the option for acquisition of the property, however acquisition occurs, the plan needs to address the existing tenants and how they are handled and so forth and so on. So we will be delving into that.
If there are no further questions, I will entertain a motion for adjournment. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Alderwoman. Appreciate it. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
It's been moved second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, everyone. Just in time.
Perfect timing.